Discover the miraculous last words of God to Lucifer, a transforming revelation before his fall. In the 3rd year of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, the heavens echoed with reverberations of divine majesty that stretched into eternity. In this ethereal realm, the Almighty God, resplendent in glory and overwhelming love, cast his ineffable light over all creation. At the heart of this heavenly assembly stood Lucifer, the brilliant guardian cherub, radiant in ethereal beauty and wisdom beyond understanding. Appointed by the Almighty, Lucifer led the celestial host in worship, pouring forth melodies woven from the essence of divine praise, each note reverberating with a fervor that united the heavenly chorus. As the throne of God bathed Lucifer in luminous grace, the divine voice cascaded like rushing water, revealing to him his purpose. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, I have set thee so. Ezekiel 28 verse 14, within this pronouncement lay the weight of glory, crafted in extravagant detail, as Lucifer was adorned with jewels of exquisite beauty, a tapestry of creation intended solely for the worship of the Creator. Each facet of his being radiated with the essence of God's glory as he embraced his role amidst the celestial ranks. Yet amid such splendor, an unforeseen shadow began its insidious creep into Lucifer's heart, as pride, alluring and stealthy as twilight, whispered the temptation of elevation above a divinely established order. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning! Isaiah 14 verse 12, in vitro was the delicate fracture between service and ambition. As he gazed upon the immeasurable grandeur of the Almighty, his desire morphed from adoration into arrogance, a longing to ascend beyond the heights of servitude, to usurp the place of the Most High. The heavenly host sensed the shift in the cycle of reverence, a tension thickening the air as God, in unparalleled compassion, extended one last plea: O Lucifer, son of the dawn, why do you wish to rise above that which I have established? Do you not remember the grace I bestowed upon you? His voice, heavy with authority yet saturated in love, wrapped around the hearts of the celestial beings, echoing with a promise of light to those willing to embrace it. Yet, amid the call to humility, Lucifer stood trapped, a storm within, pride smothering the vibrant spark of devotion. The choirs paused, glancing toward the principal cherub, suspense suspended in the texture of the blessed space. Would he relent? Would he return to the light that once defined him, or fall deeper into the abyss his own ambition carved? The heavens held their breath as the battle raged within. Divided between ominous desires and the Creator's infinite love, Lucifer made his stand. In that awful moment, he forever cast aside his purpose, declaring his defiance and rejecting the path paved by the Almighty, sealing his tragic fate. As light faltered in his depths, a divine decree thundered, a pronouncement of justice that resonated across the realms. He was cast down, his glorious form twisted into one of darkness. As Lucifer plunged from grace, the echoes of his fall reverberated through the celestial spheres, the weight of despair settled like heavy clouds. The brilliance of his essence extinguished into the darkness, giving rise to the adversary. It marked the genesis of a dreadful truth, an eternal warning resonating through time, urging generations to guard their hearts against the tremors of pride that could lead to a similar fate. And yet, in this tale of rebellion, the voice of God remained firm, rich with promise and grace, declaring to all celestial beings, Know this, O heavenly hosts, my love endures, even amid judgment. Will you abide in me? The unresolved tension lingered in the ethereal air, beckoning each soul then and now to seek the heart's quietude before its Creator, as the struggle between divine purpose and pride continued in shadows yet uncast. Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful Scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select All Notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments, which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey? I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now let's continue with what the Lord did next. In the aftermath of Lucifer's fall, the heavens groaned with a mixture of grief and awestruck reverence, whilst whispers of divine purpose continued to echo throughout eternity, a promise of redemption veiled within the glorious light that still radiated forth from the throne. As they awaited the unfolding of God's grand design, the celestial host pondered a fundamental mystery: what would God do next in the face of betrayal, and how would his eternal love transcend the very shadows that sought dominion over his creation? In the silence that followed the cataclysm of Lucifer's descent, the heavens whispered among themselves, their voices laced with sorrow and anticipation. The loyal angels, their radiant forms shimmering with distrust and fear, turned their eyes towards the throne, awaiting a response from the Almighty. The Creator's heart ached not for the fallen but for the wavering spirits of his faithful servants, those who stood firm in the face of the newly birthed chaos. "Fear not, O heavenly host," the Lord proclaimed, his voice like thunder yet soothing as a gentle stream. "For I have seen the end from the beginning. Even in this darkness, a light shall emerge that cannot be extinguished." The weight of his words carried both warning and promise, rippling through the hearts of all present, as some trembled, while others wept. Yet in the shadowed corners of God's south heavenly court, new force began to stir, an insidious power birthed from Lucifer's ambition, seeking to corrupt all that was holy. With every lingering whisper of doubt, the adversary sought to gather followers, drawing the attention of those vulnerable to his enticements. "Will you not join me in the quest for dominion?" he called out, his voice slithering like smoke through the celestial hall. "Why serve a king who demands subservience when glory and power await those bold enough to grasp them?" But the Lord, knowing the hearts of all, pulled back the veil of deception. "Remember, my children," he said, "it is not in power that one finds strength, nor in elevation that one discovers purpose. The meek shall inherit the earth." Matthew 5 verse 5, the throne radiated peace, illuminating the dark recesses of despair that the accuser sought to exploit. As time unfurled, God's grandeur revealed the intricate designs of his providence. Beneath the layers of sorrow, his plans began to take shape. A new creation loomed on the horizon, foretold in the ages past, a reflection of his love etched in the tapestry of humanity. "Behold, I create a new thing," the Lord declared, his eyes fixed on the earthy realm yet to be formed. "From the dust shall come forth man in our image, and through them, my glory shall shine even brighter than before." Genesis 1 verse 26, in the heavens, the loyal angels honored this revelation, their hearts swelling with hope amid the tragedy. They perceived that humanity's coming was not merely a counter to the darkness but a declaration of God's unyielding love, a chance for redemption not just for mankind but also for his entire creation. As the choirs sang songs of praise at the thought of this new pinnacle of God's creative authority, the dragon of old, who had once been the light-bearer, seethed in the depths, plotting with bitter resolve. A ferocity unmatched churned within. "I shall not yield," he hissed in the echoing void of his despair. "I will rise again." Unbeknownst to Lucifer, God had interwoven profound truths within the very fabric of creation. For as the dawn would follow the darkest night, so too would his plan for redemption unfurl through the generations, and amid the struggle, the divine promise lingered: "A seed shall come forth, and he shall crush the head of the serpent." Genesis 3 verse 15, thus, the stage was set for a grand cosmic struggle unseen by the eyes of man but felt in the very marrow of creation. With the impending arrival of humanity, the cosmic conflict was far from over. For in this new creation, the potential for glory, unity, and love would rise and shine brighter against the backdrop of darkness. But who amongst the cosmic and earthly realms would heed the call of their Creator? And as the incursion of humanity approached, what unfathomable plans did the Lord have for the ultimate defeat of the Dark One? The question lingered, its weight heavy in the air, a divine mystery awaiting revelation, ever propelling the souls of men and angels toward the unfolding of God's perfect plan. And it came to pass, as the heavens awaited the dawning of the new creation, that the Lord declared, "Let there be light." Genesis 1 verse 3, and immediately, a brilliance unlike any other poured forth from his command, flooding the void with luminescence, piercing even the shadows that dwelled in darkness. The angels beheld this glory, astonished by the magnificence unfolding in obedience to their Creator's voice. The Lord turned his gaze towards the depths where Lucifer seethed with bitterness, and in his mercy, he sought to extend a final warning to the one who had once basked in glory. "O morning star, how art thou fallen from heaven. Isaiah 14 verse 12, the words rang with sorrow yet resonated with authority. You have chosen rebellion over reverence. You have grasped at power instead of embracing humility. Yet amidst the lamentation echoed a message of profound truth. Always remember, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16 verse 18, Lucifer's heart, once full of splendor, now teetered upon the precipice of ruin. What have you to offer me now? He replied, his voice a snarl, thick with anger and defiance. I shall command a legion, and together we shall cast off these bonds of servitude. But the Lord, with a love vast as the cosmos, responded, your dominion shall lead only to despair, and those who follow you shall know not the light of my blessing. His voice blended both warning and promise, a beacon shining brightly amidst the dark tempest. Turn back, O light-bearer, and return to the place of grace. Yet the heart of the fallen one was hardened like stone, for ambition had overtaken the beauty of his countenance. Never. He roared, a tempest unleashed upon the heavens. I shall be like the Most High. Isaiah 14 verse 14, his fury echoed through the celestial realms, and in that moment, a fracture deepened. A chasm of rebellion now found its roots within the fabric of creation. In the heavens, the loyal angels trembled, their own faith clashing with the discord that brewed amongst them. They looked upon their master, seeking guidance. And the Lord spoke again, fear not, for I am with you. I write upon your hearts, and behold, I shall weave through the lives of those who come forth from the dust a story of redemption, woven together by love and sacrifice. In that moment, they beheld a vision, a glimpse of humanity yet to be formed, and a chorus of praise filled the expanse. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain, they proclaimed, envisioning the one who would reconcile creation. Angels, pure and radiant, sang hymns of hope, for they knew that despite the schemes of darkness, God's sovereign plans would not falter. As the battle raged in the depths of the void, a shield of divine resolution surrounded the Almighty's faithful. The seeds of transgression planted by the adversary would be met with an unyielding grace that would empower humankind to rise against the encroaching shadows. Thus, revelations began to cascade like rivers of life, flowing forth promises yet to come to fruition. A seed shall arrive clothed in vulnerability, yet carry within itself the weight of eternal victory, the Lord proclaimed, and a palpable anticipation hung in the air. In that wondrous moment, the hearts of the celestial beings swelled with expectation, for they sensed that the very essence of God's divine intervention was immeasurable and unfathomable. The time draws near when the fullness of my purpose shall be revealed, the Lord declared, solidifying his decree. The battle for the hearts of mankind was at hand. Yet lingering was the question, echoing through the corridors of the cosmos, will the hearts of humanity be drawn to the light, or will they follow the shadow of the deceiver? A mystery unfolded still, awaiting exploration. God's sovereign plan lay unfurling like a hidden scroll, promising liberation amid peril, and the earth yearned for a Redeemer. And it came to pass that the heavens quaked with the fervor of what was unfolding among the celestial beings. The light that enveloped creation held the promise of days yet to be written, yet in its midst lurked the specter of rebellion. The Lord, with his voice like thunder, turned to the host of angels and beckoned their attention. Gather, O heavenly assembly, for the fate of the realms hangs delicately at the balance. The angels, arrayed in magnificent splendor, cast their eyes upon the throne, yearning for their Lord's wisdom. What will become of us? Some murmured, their voices rippling with concern. Yet the Lord, whose heart brimmed with mercy, addressed them with a divine calms, fear not, for the eyes of the Almighty see beyond the shadows. I have a plan in the weaving of this tapestry. With that, the very fabric of the cosmos shimmered, and the Lord revealed a vision, a world filled with inhabitants formed in his image, creatures endowed with the freedom of choice. In these beings shall dwell my essence, and from them shall spring forth a lineage that will echo my glory through the ages. The angels lifted their voices in reverent awe, for they grasped the magnitude of this gift. Will they withstand the tempests of temptation, O Lord? They inquired, their hearts weighed with concern for the fragile nature of mankind. Hear me, the Lord proclaimed, his words imbued with both confidence and sorrow. They will be offered a choice to cherish the light or to embrace the dark. Their hearts shall be tested, but in their struggles, they shall discover their strength and, from their trials, they shall find redemption. But amidst this revelation, the echo of Lucifer's defiance resounded still. What claim do you have over me, O sovereign? He scoffed, his bitterness twisting each word. You offer life yet impose boundaries upon it. I shall forge my own path. The Lord's countenance shone with unyielding love as he responded, in your freedom lies your downfall, O morning star. You seek to create from jealousy, yet know this, it is love that binds all creation. Those who dwell in my light shall never taste of despair. With fire in his heart, Lucifer roared, I shall not bend to your will. I shall rise. The throne shall be mine. A wave of discord rippled through the congregation as the war of ideals raged between light and dark. The faithful angels stood firm, electrified by the courage of their convictions, some raising their voices in harmony with the Lord's promise, worthy is he who brings forth the dawn. Yet the tide was set against them. And the Lord, sensing the weight of rebellion breaking against the shores of creation, extended his arm, revealing another truth, concealed until this moment. I have placed within mankind a seed of hope, a promise that shall not be buried by your treachery. One shall come who will shatter your ambitions, for he shall carry the burden of all transgressions and spark the light of salvation from the ashes of despair. A shudder swept through Lucifer, for the weight of the Lord's proclamation struck at the very core of his rebellion. You dare utter such words? He spat, his visage twisting in rage. What man can stand against the heights of my splendor? The Lord, unflinching, replied, as surely as my word is eternal, so too shall my plan unfold. Through the fragile and the humble, I shall reveal my might. This is a mystery you cannot comprehend, for my purposes transcend your desires. With that, the heavens grew heavy with anticipation. The Lord concluded, the time shall come, and the earth shall groan with the need for salvation. Thus was born the weighty mystery that hung heavily in the celestial air. Would humanity choose the path of light, or would the luring call of darkness drown their cries? God's sovereign plan, like an intricate tapestry, remained shrouded in the shadows of futures unknown, and the heart of the cosmos awaited the unfolding of his divine revelations. And it came to pass that the tumult of the heavenly assembly reverberated through the vast corridors of the sky. The angels, filled with both wonder and trepidation, beheld the unfolding drama of the Lord's will, for they understood well that the moment of choice was at hand. Lucifer's visage darkened, shrouded in fury at the divine wisdom shared. You speak of salvation and redemption, he seethed, but it is I who shall ascend. In pride coupled with ambition, I shall reign supreme. Yet the Lord, with a gaze that pierced the veil of rebellion, spoke to him once more. O morning star, even in your defiance, my heart aches for you. For your rebellion, born of hubris, is as a storm that will consume your own heart if you persist. I have made you beautiful among the sons of the morning, yet you now have twisted that beauty into a weapon of darkness. Will you not turn back? But Lucifer clenched his fists, as if gripping his very ambitions. What is beauty without sovereignty? What is splendor if not to reign over all? He raved. The angels, hearing his cries, began to tremble, for in his words arose a darkness that threatened to engulf the very realm of light. And thus the Lord proclaimed, your reign, if it is built upon pride, shall fall into ruins. Know this, true dominion lies not in subjugation, but in service. Those who are highest among you shall be the lowest in the hearts of my creation. With renewed fervor, the faithful among the host began to echo the Lord's truth, with voices resounding softly first, and then rising in a majestic chorus. Glory to the Most High. Holiness is found in humility. They declared, their praises becoming an anthem of the light in the face of looming shadow. Yet there was a darkness gathering. Lucifer stood unyielding as the tide of rebellion surged within him. You speak of humility, yet it has been cast aside in favor of your designs, O sovereign. I shall gather the disgruntled and I shall form a new order. A kingdom where the light does not bind. The Lord, in his infinite patience, revealed the weight of truth, and in this longing for new empires, you shall forfeit the very legacy of your creation. The choice, Lucifer, is not merely between light and dark, but obedience and rebellion. This is your final hour of reckoning. And in that celestial moment, the air crackled with divine purpose, as the angels gazed upon the scene unfolding. They felt the trembling of the unseen yet promised joys to come. It was as if the entire cosmos held its breath, waiting for Lucifer to respond. Shall you remain in the darkness you have chosen, or will you return to the light from which you were formed? Once more, the Lord's voice resonated with the compassion that only the Creator could embody. Yet the shadows loomed larger as Lucifer's heart turned cold. I shall not yield. My will shall not be broken. His voice echoed through the heavens as if to seal his fate. The strain of divine tension hung palpably in the air, and the fabric of creation felt the weight of impending change. The faithful ones, realizing the depths of this conflict, began to cry out, their hearts beating in sync with the divine rhythm of hope. Lord, in your hands, we trust. You are our strength. They proclaimed, ready to stand for the truth illuminated before them. Yet fixed in his stance, Lucifer felt the stirrings of doubt, though he would not allow it to surface. The heavens prepared for the dawn of a new epoch, as the anticipation of the coming consequence swelled like a storm. The Lord turned to the host once more, eyeing the fissures that had formed amidst creation. From the ashes of disobedience shall arise a new promise, one shall come with power unsuspected. Through the frailty of man, I will reveal my glory. And thus, the stage was set, and a pivotal moment lay before the fabric of existence. Would the spark of hope indeed arise from the trials of mankind, or would darkness extinguish the light forever? The heavens were alive with the promise of the unfolding saga, and the heart of the cosmos awaited the answer to the Lord's mystery. How would love conquer the pride of a fallen star? And it came to pass, as the echoes of Lucifer's defiance filled the expanse, that a shroud of somber silence descended upon the assembly of angels. Their hearts trembled, for they understood the weight of the moment. An irrevocable choice lay before the keeper of light. Lucifer, the Lord spoke again, his voice tinged with a sorrow profound, consider the realms you seek to shatter. Think on the distances you shall travel in your pride, for those paths are set with limitations unyielding, and they shall lead you to desolation. The brilliance I bestowed upon you will dim into shadow, for it is through light that true authority is revealed. With unshakable defiance, Lucifer snarled, Authority? You speak of authority as if it had not been denied me. I shall not follow in chains, nor shall I bend my knee to your throne. I shall rise above, for it was I who filled the heavens with my song. How can I bow to one who has held me in bondage while I could have soared? What is a throne without a heart? The Lord replied, his gaze unwavering. In your ascent, you would abandon the legacy I gave to you. You would forsake fellowship and communion. Know that my heart longs for you still, even in your rebellion. But the heart of Lucifer was hardened, twisted by the allure of power and glory. The faithful host felt a tremor of fear course through them, for they beheld the rising tide of darkness that shrouded their beloved realm. Then one among the angels, strong and resolute, stepped forward. O morning star, cast away your pride and return to the light. Remember the joy that dwells in humble service, and the strength found in surrender. Do not tread this path to darkness, for it shall lead you to despair. But Lucifer only laughed, a sound as chilling as the void itself. What do you know of rain? What do you know of power? There shall be no peace in your chains. I shall forge a new destiny. With compassion still etched in his voice, the Lord said, the foundation of all creation is love, and it is this love that binds the universe in unity. In your quest for dominion, you will sow seeds of division. Beware, for your ambition may awaken the mightiest storm of all, one that shall engulf all of creation. As these words lingered in the heavens, the air grew thick with expectancy. The angels, filled with awe, realized the gravity of Lucifer's choice, and their voices trembled, resonating with the weight of longing for reconciliation. "Lord, we stand by you. Our hearts are yours," they cried, their hymns piercing the darkness. Yet as fervently as they raised their voices, Lucifer's resolve remained steely, determined to seize what seemed to shimmer within his grasp. In response, the Lord extended his hand, and with a brilliance that pierced the gloom, spoke a hint of the unfolding revelation: "From the seeds of this rebellion shall sprout a new branch, a Redeemer whose reign will bring restoration. Through the faltering steps of frail humanity, my glory shall rise, illuminating the brokenness of a world lost to sin." The host beheld in wonder as the heavens shimmered with an impending promise, vibrating with divine hope yet veiled in uncertainty, calling forth the birth of a new tale in the story of creation. Will you rise against your appointed role, or will you embrace the gift of service? His voice echoed like thunder, trembling through the hearts of those gathered, stoking the fervent desire to see the light prevail. But alas, Lucifer's heart was closed. "I shall not be made low. I will ascend." And at that, the shadows began to thicken, swirling with the whispers of countless celestial beings drawn to the conflict. The stage was set for a battle that echoed through the ages. And as the reverberation of rebellion gathered strength, the heavenly host felt the undeniable pulse of destiny forming a divine plan not yet unveiled, whispering into the stillness, "A child shall be born, one who will hold the keys of death and darkness. In him lies the power to restore what was lost." Thus began the chapter of thorns from which the promise of a Savior would emerge, and the heavens awaited the unfolding of that most sacred mystery. And it came to pass that the atmosphere of creation grew charged with a weight beyond earthly understanding, as the hosts of heaven stood, breathless and wide-eyed, witness to this moment of strife. The eternal conflict had begun, and the echoes of Lucifer's pride ricocheted like thunder across the celestial expanse. "Behold," the Lord declared, his voice resonating through the layers of creation, "the destiny you seek to shatter is woven into the very fabric of my divine plan. Your rebellion shall not merely cast a shadow but shall unleash a chain of events ordained from before the foundation of the world." Lucifer, his visage twisted with fury and ambition, turned to the legion of angels, whose loyalty and love for the Almighty could not be sundered. "Do you not see? He seeks to keep us in darkness, to bind us with the chains of submission." He raised his voice, yet it trembled as if he sensed the fragility of his own resolve. "Join me. We shall be as gods, unshackled by servitude. We shall make a name for ourselves." Yet the angels stood firm, their hearts aflame with devotion, eyes glimmering with the light of heavenly peace. "We were created for His glory, to serve for His purposes," one of the archangels proclaimed with a voice steady as granite, his wings unfurling like banners of fidelity. The Lord, with sorrow shading his expression, spoke gently yet with authority, "Lucifer, remember your purpose, for you once sang of my creation. You were a guardian of the throne, a bearer of light among my children. Return to your first love. Yet, if you choose this treacherous path, know that its fruits are bitter and isolated." A silence, pregnant with an unspoken sorrow, lingered between them. It weighed heavily, as the atmosphere thickened with the inevitable consequence of choice. The angels felt a cauldron of emotions, mingling fear with grief, as they witnessed their beloved leader caught in the grip of dark ambition. "I will not bow. I will not be subdued." Lucifer's voice broke the stillness, infused with a desperation that was undeniable. "For I have tasted the exhilarating breath of freedom, and I shall not relinquish it." The weight of divine proclamation resonated through the heavens once again. "Lucifer, the one who forsakes love severs the thread of life. If you persist in this rebellion, you will grow cold and lose the essence of your being." In the tension of that moment, all eyes turned once more to the Lord, who spoke with clarity, his heart offering a path even amidst looming shadows. "I have established a means of redemption, a way that will transcend your ruinous choices. There shall arise from the ashes a Redeemer, whose brilliance shall conquer darkness, whose blood shall be shed for the transgression of many. Through him, the chains of sin will be broken. At this, the hosts of heaven surged forth, their cries of praise swelling like the waves of the sea, yet they also felt the anguish of what may come. For they saw the path unfurl, a path that would lead through suffering to glorious resurrection. They knew not what was to unfold, but they held fast to the promise of redemption. In that hour, a great anticipation gripped the firmament. The thrumming of divine purpose echoed fiercely around them, as the sobered realization settled. From this conflict would rise the very narrative that would define existence, wrestling with sin and grace, darkness and light. Yet Lucifer stood obstinate, resolute in his ambition, cloaked in a shroud of pride. And with each word he uttered, he alienated himself further from the source of his light. I shall gather my own, and we will create a kingdom of our making. No longer shall we be bound by your decrees. With that declaration, the ramifications of rebellion began to ripple through the cosmos. Thus, the stage was set for a great unveiling, for creation was holding its breath under the shadow of a divine mystery, waiting for the fullness of time when the promise of the Redeemer would break through and the grace of God would rescue a world plunged into tumult. And in the depths of the looming discord, God's sovereign plan continued unyielding, whispering into the hearts of all, a new covenant is on the horizon, a birth that will usher in a new era, a light destined to arise amidst great darkness. And it came to pass that as the conflict loomed, the Lord's heart grieved for Lucifer, who once walked in brilliance. The Almighty, in his compassion, continued to extend his hand, speaking with urgency, Lucifer, beloved of my design, your choice has woven a thread into the tapestry of eternity. But there is still a path to life, a chance for restoration. Do you not remember the day of your creation? Do you not behold the glory that adorned you? Yet Lucifer, hardened in resolve, clenched his fists as if to grasp power not his own. Sovereign Lord, he retorted with scorn, why should I settle for a glory that diminishes in servitude? I have the strength to carve my own destiny. Who are you to bind me with visions of light when there is darkness to be claimed? The archangels, fierce in loyalty, murmured among themselves, their wings stirring the air with holy fervor. Michael, the chief among them, stepped forward, luminous as a shining sword. Lucifer, it is only in surrender that true freedom is found. Return to the heart of the Father, and the light shall shine brightly upon you once more. The throne of heaven became a focal point of divine tension. All creation held its breath as the Lord proclaimed, Lucifer, I created you perfect, an angel of light. Your music was woven into the very essence of creation. Seek not to rise above but to reflect that which I have imparted to you. In that solemn moment, a glimmer of doubt flickered in Lucifer's heart. But the weight of his pride anchored him deeper into darkness. I care not for your light. I shall rise even higher, beyond the confines of heaven. I will ascend and place my throne above the stars. His words rang hollow but fierce, echoing across the vastness of creation. Then the Lord, steadfast and gentle, called forth a truth that would pierce the shadows. You tread a treacherous path, O light-bringer. For every ascent into pride leads to a fall. You cannot forge a kingdom upon the ruins of love, nor can dominion be built upon disobedience and rebellion. The angels continued to hover, their hearts heavy, wrestling with the choice of their beloved comrade. They shuddered at the peril of his vanity, knowing well the ancient truth of old, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall, Proverbs 16 verse 18. In the stillness, the Lord revealed a mystery that had reverberated since the dawn of time. Hear now the eternal hope, through the suffering of the seed of woman shall your rebellion be subdued. His heel shall bruise your head, and through this sacrifice, the chains forged in darkness shall one day be shattered. Lucifer, standing at the precipice of his own ruin, felt the tremor of divine truth cascade over him, momentarily softening the edges of his hardened heart. What are you saying, God? That in this Redeemer lies the means to subdue me? How could weakness prevail over my might? The folly of man, the Lord replied gently, is to confuse strength with might and love with bondage. For the greatest power is not in dominion but in sacrifice. The Redeemer shall usher in a new covenant, one that shall be written not on stone but upon hearts of flesh. Soon shall the world know that there is no greater love than this, laying down one's life for another. As the echoes of the Lord's words drifted into the vastness, the celestial realm trembled with new understanding. But Lucifer, emboldened by a misguided sense of invulnerability, spat back, "I shall not yield. I will rally the hosts against you. Let it be known, I am the master of my fate." Thus, as rebellion unfurled like a storm across the heavens, the stage was irrevocably set. A shadow loomed ever larger as destiny interwove itself with choice. The sovereign plan of the Almighty was unfolding unbeknownst to Lucifer, that a breathtaking cosmic battle awaited, one that would tip the scales of eternity. And so a divine summons lingered in the hearts of the faithful, whispering across creation, "A new age dawns, and the shadows shall not consume the light. Hope is forged in the fire of sacrifice, where the Redeemer will rise to reclaim the broken and restore all that is lost." And in the heavenly expanse, the atmosphere crackled with a tension unseen, for the archangels felt the pulse of impending conflict. Their wings, resplendent as the dawn, resonated with the melodies of a creation longing for harmony. Michael, his heart aching for his fallen brother, spoke again with fervor, "O Lucifer, do not cast aside the grace that could still encompass you. Will you not soften your heart before the Creator, who knows every whisper of your soul?" But Lucifer, emboldened and defiant, scorned the words meant to draw him back. Rage ignited within him, and he cast his eyes toward the vast reaches of heaven and beyond. "What do I care for mercy? I shall make a name for myself beyond any man, beyond your pitiful realms. I will establish my own will and my own throne." The choir of angels, witnessing this profound neglect of divinity, gasped. Each one felt the tremors of grief ripple through their spirits, knowing well the perilous journey to damnation their once beloved friend had embarked upon. They looked to the Lord, hoping for a divine intervention that would bring an end to this discord. Then, as if answering their unspoken prayer, the voice of the Almighty resonated through the firmament with tender authority. "Lucifer, my love persists even in the shadow of your choosing. Know this, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Choose life, that you and your offspring may live." Deuteronomy 30 verse 19. In that moment, a flicker of internal struggle ignited in Lucifer's soul, like a candle flickering in the wind. Yet pride clutched at his heart, and he hardened his resolve further. "You offer what is deemed life, but I see not your way," he thundered. "To be a servant is to embrace chains. I will forge my own chains of glory." As the conflict deepened, creation held its collective breath, for the fate of the heavenly realms and, indeed, the fabric of time itself hinged on this moment. The Lord stood unwavering, his essence illuminating the void of despair around him. The price of power is often greater than the price of humility, O Lightbringer. Know that your ascent will lead to a descent from which you cannot return. But Lucifer, eyes blazing with unquenched ambition, roared defiantly. "Let the heavens tremble. I will rise as the morning star, and I will gather my own host. A new order shall reign, one where I shall be exalted above all." The archangels shuddered as the implications of such blasphemy hung heavy in the air. In that sprawling expanse of brilliance and beauty, a thunderous boom echoed, like the cracking of a great celestial vault. Their hearts trembled with fear, for they sensed the profound consequence of Lucifer's rebellion. Michael, steadfast and unwavering, implored once more, "Listen, dear brother. Do you not see your pride leading you into perdition? We were created for His glory, and in rejecting Him, you are forsaking the very light that sustains us." Yet, darkness wrapped around Lucifer's heart like a shroud, encasing him in a delusion of invincibility. With one last, desperate glare at the brilliance of heaven, he declared, "Then let it be. If love must be forsaken for power, I shall embrace the shadows. For I shall not be bound by anything you or your Creator." With that, the Lord, full of grace yet firm in justice, raised his voice. "For there awaits a reckoning, and the day draws near when every knee shall bow, and every tongue confess that I am Lord." Philippians 2 verse 10. And so it was that the seeds of discord were sown, a battle for the hearts of many had begun. The invitation of restoration lingered in the air, a divine echo that resounded amidst the impending storm. Yet within the tapestry of time, an even greater mystery unfolded, whispering forth the hope of redemption, for even now, the heavens await the arrival of the Redeemer, whose victory shall triumph over every shadow and bond, ushering in the dawn of eternal light. As the shadows deepened, the echoes of rebellion mingled with the soft strains of heaven's lament. The loyal angels stood poised before the throne, their hearts heavy with anguish and anticipation. The Lord gazed upon his creation, divided by choice, the fallen lightbringer and the faithful servants. "My children," he spoke, a tremor of sorrow woven with unwavering love in his voice, "remember this truth, the path you choose defines your destiny." Lucifer, cloaked in darkness and spite, rallied his following, a band of angels seduced by his charm and ambition. "Rise with me," he declared, his voice laden with a poisonous promise, "and we shall forge a new kingdom, a realm where servitude becomes sovereignty." The allure of power whispered sweetly, deceit wrapping tightly around the hearts of those who dared turn from the light. Yet as discord raged, the Lord's heart grieved for Lucifer, his light turned to shadow. "O morning star! In your pursuit of elevation, you have forsaken the love that binds all creation. Return, and I promise grace like no other. Your purpose yet can be fulfilled." The words traced through the heavens, an invitation cloaked in compassion. But Lucifer hardened, the light in his heart eclipsed by the dark promise of his ambition. "Your chains bind me no longer. I will ascend to the heights of the clouds, I will be like the Most High." Isaiah 14 verse 14, he cried, defiance stirring like a tempest in the realm of light. A solemn storm began to brew within the celestial courts as the tension mounted. "Let it be so," cried the faithful, their voices rising, echoing praise amidst the gathering chaos. "Let God's truth prevail." Their chants reverberated against painted skies. In that charged atmosphere, the Lord, a vigilant sovereign, called forth the faithful, his love enveloping their hearts. "Fear not, O loyal ones. My power shall pierce through the shadows. Though darkness may momentarily hide my face, my purpose remains unshaken." Heavenly whispers of his covenant promise rippled through the assembly. "From dust I will form a new creation, one that shall bear my image and carry forth my glory upon the earth." Genesis 1 verse 27, and in that rich tapestry of hope, a vision unfurled the coming of a Redeemer. "From the seed of woman shall he arise," the Lord promised, "the one who will crush the head of the serpent." Genesis 3 verse 15, the angels beheld in awe, their hearts ignited with awe-filled expectancy. Lucifer scoffed in the darkness below. "You speak of redemption, yet I wield the power. I shall extinguish this flicker of hope. The cosmos shall belong to me." Yet the Lord, in his sovereign authority, unveiled the depth of his truth, laying bare the essence of love, a promise to send the one who would break the bonds of sin for all creation. "For he shall bear the iniquities of many, and by his stripes, healing shall come forth. My grace shall abound where sin did abound." Isaiah 53 verse 5, with that proclamation, the heavens erupted into a celestial symphony, harmonizing hope and anticipation amidst the growing storm. "Worthy is the Lamb." Arose the chorus, thunderous in faith, resonating through the very fabric of existence. Then came a final decree from the throne, resonating like a trumpet through the void. "Lucifer, your time is at hand. Each of your choices has forged the trajectory of your fate. For pride shall lead to destruction, and humility shall lead to life. Choose wisely, O morning star, for the fate of many hangs in the balance." And in that eternal moment, time itself danced delicately between light and darkness, the promise of redemption casting rays of hope upon the horizon. Yet the choice and weight of rebellion remained ever present. At last, the curtain drew upon this tragic tale of hubris as an irrevocable separation cleaved from grace. Lucifer, in his folly, caged by ambition, decreed his eternal defiance, casting off the light of communion. Darkness mingled with despair, the weight of rebellion echoing through the realms. As heaven wept for the fallen, the Almighty remained sovereign and steadfast, unbroken in love. "I will redeem," he declared to an awaiting creation, "for I have crafted a path back to myself, an unyielding love that calls forth to all hearts. The light shall prevail, and in the end, sin will not have the final word." In this echo of divine promise, humanity's journey began, echoing the choice between light and dark, a call ever present through the ages, asking every heart, will you embrace love, or let pride lead you astray? Thus, the stage was set for the unfolding saga, where the Redeemer would take the carved path of humanity, standing in the gap for all. Darkness could not extinguish the light, for hope was birthed among ash. Awaiting all creation lay the deeper mystery of resurrection, a dawn yet unseen but profoundly felt by those who chose the light. As the divine narrative unfolded, it captured the essence of God's pursuit of humanity amidst the struggle, a promise not merely at the beginning but eternal, reverberating through the ages. And now, dear believers, this sacred journey culminates in the timeless choice: will you accept the light that casts out darkness? We invite you, as beloved of the Almighty, to subscribe immediately and not miss the next powerful biblical stories that illuminate the path to redemption. Your engagement helps spread the gospel, so leave a like now to amplify God's truth through this platform. We encourage you to comment below with your reflections on how this profound story has impacted your faith. And please, share this video instantly with 5 friends who need to hear His truth. Do not wait even one more second. True believers recognize the importance of uniting in faith to reach more souls for Christ. Let us together proclaim His glory and grace.